Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Built to Exit with me, your humble host, Jason Sisneros. You are in for a treat today with this show. It's with somebody that's a very, very dear friend of mine. And we're going to talk about financing, and we're going to talk about money, and we're going to talk about some things that you really need to know for your own business to be able to give you a heads up, an advantage. But first off, you're noticing a trend with the people that I bring on my podcast. I know them. It's not somebody that I'm like, oh, I want to go get this name or that name or whatever it is. These are people that I know and I've done business with for years, and we've broken bread together. We've been places together, and they're people that I absolutely trust. So when they're talking, you know that they've already been through the fire with me at multiple different levels. And Jonathan Fodera is no different to that, except for the way we met. It had nothing to do with business. He saw that we were doing some fundraising for something that was very, very necessary on the child rescue team for CERT. And just reached out to me out of the blue and said, hey, I've got a group of guys that likes to support this kind of stuff. And then, heavily funded that fundraiser that we were on. So our relationship started in a place of him reaching out to serve. And, as you get to know him, and as I have over time, that's where he starts and finishes, is how can he serve? So welcome to the podcast, my brother. Newly haircut. By the way, I want to take credit for influencing him cutting his hair, right, to the most beautiful thing that you can possibly do, which is shine that dome, baby. Shine that dome.
Oh, brother, thank you. So, hey, one, it's always great to get to connect, and I appreciate you having me on. And I will actually admit that, Jason, you were one of the driving forces. You put it in my head, and then I saw a picture, and it was not a flattering picture. I didn't know my wife took it, and as soon as I saw that, I'm like, Jason's right. Jason's right. I said, get the buzzer. Let's do it. And I did it. Never looked back. And man, maintenance is great. I just love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you look great. You have a handsome face. And it was,
Nice.
I remember, never forget the first time I shaved my head. I just got to a place where I'm like, I'm never going to have that comb, that I'm never going to it's either going to all be gone or it's
Yep.
all going to be there. And then when I was sitting around one day and I was watching old videos of me wrestling, and it was from when I was 17, and we were in the state finals, and they had the overhead cameras.
Yeah.
And, I had my headgear on and all this other kind of stuff, but I was like, and this is now I'm 26 or 27 watching this video. Right.
Yep.
And I'm like, son of a buck, I have a bald spot when I was 17. I was like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'm done. I shaved it. And, it's funny because now my first wife and my current wife, Emily, we're all really, really good friends.
Yep.
But we went through a divorce, obviously. And one of the funny things was when I shaved my head, she's like, oh my God, I'm going to leave you. And I'm like, I wish I would have known that was the thing. I would have shaved it 2 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. We love you, Leona. We love you. So, but anyways, all that aside, brother, I'm happy to introduce you to everybody. I'm happy to have this conversation because, again, as I mentioned in the intro, you add so much value. And here's what I would say, not just as a human being, as like I said, how we met and the things that we've done in between and the people that I've watched you help, but in a place, in an area where in the financial world, there are so many people that are untrustworthy.
Yep.
Right. And you couple that with the idea as a business owner, you get really good at roofing or windows or carpet or whatever it is that you're doing, but it's difficult to go out and learn this whole other spectrum of finance. And that's an accelerator. What we talk about here is actually building your business to exit. That means you've got to get good with numbers. You've got to understand finance at a certain level. And so what I see you do is, number one, you're trustworthy. Number two, I see you clarify and clear the way for business owners to make good decisions for themselves in the area of financing. So How do you do that? Give us a little background on your company. Tell us what it is and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I own two companies in the space. One is integrated business financing. That's our marketplace. So we carry every program. Somebody comes in, we let's just say they have a challenge. The challenge is they can't get enough money in their account because they're always waiting to get paid. They're net 30, they're net 60. Well, we have seen that a million times. We can diagnose that a million times. If you go to a bank doesn't carry the right program, right? This leads me to my second company, Integrated Factors. It's a factoring company. So somebody has that challenge of, hey, we have all this work, we don't have the money to take it on. Well, if they go out and get a line of credit or if they get an SBA loan, guess what? That's going to be problematic. It's probably going to just kick the can down the road and then they're going to be in real trouble. Well, we diagnose it, we explain to them and educate them why that's problematic. And then we get them the right solution. And the right solution in that case is invoice factoring. But at Integrated, we have every product under the sun. And so when somebody comes in, we just listen. We say, hey, what are you trying to accomplish? They then send their financial package in. We put it through the same software as the banks use. We then send it to them and we have a strategy session. There's a lot of consulting that goes with this. Mm-hmm. We don't charge for the consulting, but we want our clients to be educated because once they're educated, they understand the value that we're trying to provide to them. And so we get them into the best program they're going to qualify for that's going to help them accomplish the right goals. There's so many times I tell people, hey, you might not be ready right now. Here's somebody that can help you with credit repair, or here's how you build your business credit, or this is what your cash flow needs to look like. And so we make sure that they are in the right position, and then we go out and get them the financing that they need to grow and scale. I'll give you a great example of this. This morning, somebody called me, never did equipment financing. He had a personal loan for 7%, and he wanted us to get him an SBA loan. I'm like, look, I do SBA loans all the time. You're making, I said this, and sometimes I'm too blunt. You know that.
It's a common trait that you and I share. So
yeah, there's no filter. I'm like, listen, I'm not getting you an SBA loan. And he was like taken back. He's like, why? I'm like, all right, well, two reasons. One, you owe $10,000 on a personal loan and you want to consolidate that into an SBA loan and get equipment. I said, there's two things wrong with that. One, the SBA right now is at 10%. You are going to refinance this at a higher rate. Makes no sense. I said, two, you're going to get a vehicle and some equipment that has a shelf life of 5 years. And then you're going to pay for that over 10 years. When that van craps out and when those dehumidifiers, he was in restoration.
Okay.
And I said, when all that equipment goes down the tube, what are you going to do? You're going to be paying this loan for another 5 years. I said, we'll do equipment financing. And then if you really want to consolidate that other loan, we'll do a line of credit. But I don't recommend it because you're still going to be refinancing it at a higher rate.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he just questioned every little thing. I said, look, you can go back, do your research, and come back to me. Okay. But I'm not going to do this because it doesn't make sense. I only want to do things that are going to help you because here's the reality. One of my core values is win-win-win. It's got to be a win for the client, a win for the underwriter, and a win for us. And if that client is not going to be put in a better position, when things go wrong, he's going to blame us.
Right.
If things go right, he's going to have a great experience. We're going to over deliver, and then he's going to send everybody else our way. Yeah. Right. So that is what I focus on. I focus on making sure that people make the right decisions so they can grow, they can scale, and that the debt is not a burden, right? Yeah. And it took 15 years of doing this to learn all the ins and outs and owning my own businesses, crashing some of my own businesses. I told you about that. How many times did I call you up crying?
A couple.
You know, I called this man up crying, guys, if you're listening. Because I was upside down on 3 gyms that I never should have done because someone told me it was an investment. You know, $1.8 million later, it was not an investment.
Yeah, it was for somebody.
It definitely was for somebody. That is true, Jason. So, I've been on every side of it, guys, and I'm a huge believer in God, and I read the Bible, and what I would tell you is like I truly believe you treat others the way you want to be treated. And most business owners, when you open up your entity, it's not coming with the playbook. It's not coming with the handbook of, hey, this is how financing works. This is how you build your business credit. This is how you do this. It doesn't happen. So how do we learn as an entrepreneur? We learn through trial and error,
Yeah.
right? You step on a landmine. Hopefully you don't step on it again. The biggest thing is, can you survive it? When we talk about lending, there's really four things everybody looks at for the most part. It's your time in business, your profitability, your cash flow, and your credit. When I say credit, I'm talking about business credit, which some people don't even know exists, and your personal credit. And so I cover all these on the Integrated Entrepreneur, and I give that information out for free so everybody can learn, everybody can grow, everybody can scale. And I don't have anything to sell you. If you need my help, you reach out. Otherwise, I wish you the best. I want to see you crush it. And, my passion is small business because small business has the ability to impact everything else in this country in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right. The guy that's running, if you're an operator, you control and you impact your employees and your community almost more than anybody in their life, other than, maybe God and a couple other things. And if you can have that positive force as a society, we can all level up.
Are you a business owner running hard, burning out, and still not getting ahead? I'm Jason Sisneros, founder of Built to Exit. I've bought, built, fixed, exited over 24 companies of my own. I've helped hundreds of business owners do the same. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably didn't start your business to be trapped in it. And yet, here you are, overwhelmed, underpaid, drowning in noise from fake gurus and recycled advice. Been there. Built to Exit isn't just another course. It's not a magic bullet, it's a system, a proven blueprint built from real-world experience, not theory. We help owners control the three things that really matter in business: price, the timing, and the terms of your exit. Whether that means more cash in your pocket now, more freedom starting today, or a full-blown exit strategy that lets you walk away on your own terms, our team knows how to get you there. So if you're done guessing, done with the excuses, and ready to win, visit builttoexit.biz today to schedule your free 15-minute strategy call with a senior advisor. We'll show you exactly where the leaks are in your business and how to fix them, because everybody exits. How you exit is the only thing that really matters. Builttoexit.biz. We play to win. Do you?
Right. And that's what this is about.
Well, you and I have talked about this a lot of times, which is ethical capitalism versus unethical capitalism. Ethical capitalism, there's a book for it, right? Yeah. It's not a course, it's a book. It's called the Bible. Right. It's biblical principles, and, not to turn this into church, but I have noticed, even if somebody doesn't recognize it and isn't a Christian or whatever, it's at the end of the day, running a business, a small and mid-sized business where you don't have the advantage of lobbyists, where you don't have a relationship to a corrupt politician, where you don't have the ability to bilk investors for billions of dollars, where you don't have those advantages. All you have is your brain, your word, your relationships, and your business.
Yeah.
And so it is the cornerstone, the founding cornerstone of freedom is the ability for us to be able to chart our own course with our small businesses. And, and understanding that, you said something earlier that, people, you learn by trial and error, or you learn by, hiring B2X, right? Because that helps you avoid those landmines. And one of the things that we do primarily is sequencing, because and I've watched you walk along with different businesses, right? Where they need something right now, but then 2 years from now, once they're applying that properly, they'll need something different. And then after that, they need something different. And then they need somebody to handhold them in the someone acquiring their business, right? Mm-hmm. And you have that longevity and those different products as you ascend in your business. So I have a very specific question for you. Mm-hmm. The top three, like when people are watching this show, they're like, oh my gosh, yep, I absolutely love Jonathan. He shaved his head like Jason. Now I can accept him as a brother. and and I trust him because Jason trusts him. What are the three things that a business owner should be thinking about in terms of their? I know you gave really good tips, right? Your time in business, profitability, cash flow, and your credit score. We'll come
Mhm.
back to that credit score towards the end because I think it's important that you dive into that a little bit. But
Mhm.
as far as products, what do you think that the average business owner should be looking at to be able to improve their business position from where it's at right now?
All right. If we're talking about financial products,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same as building a house. You would never build a house with just a hammer, right?
Yeah.
You need multiple different tools.
Mm-hmm.
So everything depends on what challenge you're trying to solve.
Okay.
I'll just go rapid fire. If you're net 30, net 60, net 90, you're B2B, you need invoice factoring. Why? Because it allows you to get paid right away once the work's done, and it doesn't really cut into your margins. It might cost you 2% per 30 days. Okay. So 100K invoice, you get that the very next day instead of waiting 30 days. All right. That's going to cost you 2 grand if they're paying in 30 days, 4 grand if they pay in 60.
Mm-hmm.
Most businesses, I would say 95% of businesses, they don't notice that. And the more they would do so much more revenue with
Two
so
grand,
much
two
less.
grand on how big of an invoice?
100K.
100K. Got it.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
I think every business needs a line of credit. I think the only time that a line of credit doesn't make sense is if it's for a fixed asset that has a shelf life, past a year. All right. So lines of credit are used for short term needs. So opportunities, emergencies, and your everyday spending, like
Mm.
adding someone to your team, like marketing, supplies, inventory. Most people use lines of credit wrong. Your intent there is to use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off. It helps you control the cost. Okay. Because the longer that money is out, the more it's going to cost you. All right. Most people, most entrepreneurs make this crazy mistake. They always finance their business on personal credit cards.
Mm.
Make sure the cards that you're using are business and don't report to your person.
Mm.
Right. That's why I talk about business credit. It gives you the ability to separate your business and your personal finances, and makes your business more valuable, and it makes it more of a standalone entity, more sellable, more exitable, right? And you can get terms from your suppliers, right? It also helps you qualify for equipment financing. It helps you qualify for SBA loans.
Mm.
SBA loans, let's touch on that. We're talking about tools to get the job done. You're going to acquire a business, that's an SBA loan. You're going to acquire a business property, that's an SBA loan. You made some mistakes, you need to pay off some debt, SBA loan. You're
Mm.
not going to use an SBA loan for inventory. You're
Mm.
not going to use an SBA loan, or you shouldn't, for equipment,
Yeah.
right? Let's touch on equipment. When you do equipment, there's a couple different programs you have. But for the most part, you either buy cash, which is crazy, you do an equipment loan, which I do, or you do a lease with a dollar buyout or a lease. So, what people don't understand is a lease, don't recommend it because you don't own the asset at the end. You're not building your balance sheet. If
Mm.
you do a lease with a dollar buyout, you get the same cost of capital as an equipment loan.
Mm.
However, because it's a lease, you can spread out the tax advantages and the tax savings over 5 years because it's a lease and you can write off the entirety of that payment.
Mm.
So think about the numbers, right? If you have an equipment loan at 10%, you can only write off $1,200 a year in interest if the payment's $1,000.
Yep.
Well, if it's a lease with a dollar buyout, you can write off $12,000 a year for the next 5 years. Smart business owners stack that, right?
Yep.
And they still own it at the end.
Mm.
When you're taking on new projects, here's another program no one knows about. It's called project financing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you send me the contract. We look at the cash flows of the contract, and you can draw up to 25% of the value of that contract to get the job started.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get your first payment or draw in, they settle up what you drew
Mm-hmm.
minus the fee, and then you're done. It's a one-off transaction.
Mm.
That costs about, let's say it's got $1 million contract.
Yeah.
You can draw 250. You only draw 200. They're going to charge you only 5% per the 30 days, but only on what you drew. So guess what? That would cost you, if it's call it a 30-day deposit or 30-day draw, that's only going to cost you $10,000.
Yeah. That's
Right?
huge. Yeah.
It's huge. And nothing else is encumbered.
Right.
Right? Then you have working capital. That's for people that don't have great credit, short time in business. They have an opportunity or it's rescue capital. I don't recommend that, but we have to carry it because people need it.
Yep.
People need it, and we'll give them ethical working capital if there is such a thing.
Yeah.
But it's still trash. And I'll tell you, here's what you have. These options suck. Do with it what you will. You know?
Pick your poison. Pick your poison.
Yeah, exactly. Pick your poison. So there's all these different programs that people don't know about, and the problem that you have is you said this is you didn't say it in these words, but I will say it in these words. My industry is a scummy industry. Most people that operate in this industry are the guys that got in trouble with mortgages in the early 2000s.
Yep. Now they're getting in trouble here.
Yes, exactly. All they have is cash advances, right? The working capital deals. So they're going to tell you and sell you everything under the sun, and then they're just going to come back around and give you a 6-month deal where you're paying, for every dollar, you're going to pay $1.40. Yeah. Right? We avoid that like the plague. And one of the biggest requests I have is, hey, how do you get me out of this?
Yeah.
Last but not least, there's term loans. If you have good credit and you pay yourself because you separated your business and personal, you can get anywhere from like $25,000 to $150,000 over 3 to 5 years on a personal loan. Now, sometimes we can put that under the business. A lot of times we can't. Yeah. But here's a little trick. Anyone can apply for that, right? So if you have a relative that has better credit, a wife, a son, and you made some mistakes and you need to consolidate and fix your credit, well, guess what? That's a cheat code. That's how we do it. Yeah. So it is intricate and it is difficult. However, having the scope of programs and actually caring about our clients allows us to maneuver all these things and to get them into a much better position.
It does. And I've watched it. And, for those people that are watching, they've heard me use the term free cash flow a lot. Right. And in order to be able to optimize and maximize your free cash flow, we look at it like the more free cash flow that you have, the better your entity, the enterprise that you're building looks to a potential buyer. Not only that, but while you own it, you're pulling free cash flow off of the table. Right. And part of the big gist from takeaway from this show that I want everybody to know and understand is there's multiple ways to do it. Right. And the best way that I know is to call up Jonathan. If I'm thinking through something, or if I've got a client going through something, he's my first phone call. Right. I call it Jonathan GPT. It's like, hey, we've got these opportunities, and what do you think that the best scenario would possibly be? And especially for those of you that are out looking to acquire, like, getting an SBA loan to acquire a business or to expand, or to buy, doing acquisitions to expand your business. You're going to do an acqui-hire of a particular company because they do SOPs better than you, whatever it might be. It's really just the understanding that you've got to get clear on your finances, understanding where you're at. And that's a phone call to Jonathan, because he's got his software, he's got his team, and you just say, hey, here's all my crap. What can we do? And the good thing, the thing that I love about Jonathan that doesn't exist in a whole lot of other places is he will give you some ideas, right, on how best to utilize that capital that you're taking away. He just knows how to grow money. And, on top of being able to get it for you. So, let's come back and kind of wrap this up, because you and I can go down a rabbit hole that'll last.
Wait, you want me to give you a great one? Fighting inflation?
Yeah.
Okay. This is crazy. Okay. I told you this though. You know this.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Jason Sisneros, founder and chairman of Built to Exit, a world-class business consulting firm that's helped hundreds of clients and thousands of business owners fix, scale, and successfully master their companies. Let me ask you a question. Are you serious about changing the direction of your business, but you don't have the funds to bring in a high-level consulting team? Well, then keep watching. We created the Built to Exit system specifically for entrepreneurs like you. Whether you're a startup trying to avoid costly mistakes or a seasoned owner stuck in a plateau or a downturn, this do-it-yourself system is your answer. Now, this course isn't easy. It's not a gimmick. It's not sugar-coated motivational feel-good fest if you know me at all. It's a graduate level masterclass built from decades of business ownership, consulting, and real-world results. If you're willing to do the work and follow the blueprint we use with companies that pay us 5 and 6 figures, you will finally have a system that gives you time freedom, financial control, and a clear path to a successful exit. So if you're serious about building a business that works with or without you, go to www.b2xsystem.com right now, because everybody exits. The only question is how.
Corporate treasury account. So for you guys worried about inflation, okay, Jason talked about free cash flow. Free cash flow is massive. It's everything, okay? Cash flow is the lifeblood of your business, right? And so here's the problem. Right now, we're dealing with crazy inflation. It's completely underreported. And I'm kind of like a eco nerd when you boil it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did starting 3 or 4 years ago, I got a hard wallet, okay? I knew how much I could afford to dump a month from my company's free cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
And every week, I buy Bitcoin and XRP. I don't look at it. I put it in a hard wallet. And it goes away, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I need anything, if I have a big project, if I have a building, if I want to go buy something in Belize, right?
If you want to buy something that floats around called a boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if I want to buy a ridiculous boat. It's there. And now I have a war chest for my company, right? That's appreciating. So as your money is becoming less and less valuable, you're losing purchasing power, you have that. And guys, if you're an asset-heavy business, you could do the same thing into assets. And guess what? As the interest rate that you're paying stays fixed and the dollar loses value, you're not paying. It doesn't feel like you're paying as much. And you still have an asset that will be worth a lot of money and that will bring you income. You could do the same thing with materials. I have a buddy, and we kid around with how nerdy I am. He's got me by a factor of 10. Okay. He's a brilliant, great guy, Callie Keene, and he's got K-Form, a big manufacturing company, second generation, handed down, and he's in the military industrial complex, right? Mm-hmm. He went before COVID and before inflation started blowing up, and he bought all of his raw materials, millions.
Wow.
Millions. And it gave him such a pricing advantage that he is absolutely destroying his competition.
Right.
So guys, there's always something that you can do. You just have to think outside the box.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. Well, let's take it home with the business, because I want everybody out here that watches this show, if you do anything from this show, I want you to go start building your business credit. Okay. Yep. Tell them how to do it.
Okay. Real simple. You need 5 things. Okay. You need a business phone number. It cannot be a Google Voice number, okay? Cannot be associated. It has to be registered to the business. Yes, it can be a cell phone. You need a business address. If you are home-based, put your home. Do not put a P.O. box. By the way, guys, don't put a P.O. box on any financing application. It's a big red flag for fraud, okay? So you need the address. You need a business bank account. Do not use a fintech bank account like Bluevine or anything. If you cannot walk into the bank and take your money out, that is, you do not use that facility, okay? I don't care what they're offering you, you don't do it, all right? So you get your business bank account, business address, okay. So after that, you need a 1-page website, just 1 page. On that website, you need to have your address, your phone number. Obviously, you're not going to link your bank. So once you have those 5 things, right, you go to DNB, Dun and Bradstreet, and it's literally DNB.com. Look up your entity. If it's not claimed, you need to claim it. Okay? You claim it, you make sure that information is entered there, it's accurate, and then you start applying for trade lines. You can go to Dash. Dash is a company that will do this for you. You can go to Uline. You can go to Home Depot. You can go to Staples, Best Buy, anything you need for your business. And all you're trying to do is apply, excuse me, for business credit. All right. And that's the way you get that done. And then you just use the credit, pay it off. Use the credit, pay it off. Did a whole show on this.
Yep.
And as you get more advanced, what's more advanced look like? Well, now you're going to finance equipment or vehicles in your car's name. And that all starts building what they call comparable debt. Comparable debt is any type of monthly installment on an asset or equipment that you've made 12 monthly payments on. Why does this matter? Because typically, when you're going for equipment financing, they will usually give you anywhere between 1.5 and 2 times your comparable debt. Right? So if you have 500,000 in comparable debt, means hey, you can go borrow 1 to 2 million, no problem, on the equipment as long as the financials can support it.
Yeah. And let me tell you why that's important. Because of the concept, I am not my business is not me. Okay. Yes. I want to because this is so important, right? There's something that business owners, they think that everything has to come off of their back. You said the business credit cards, like, you know what I mean? They think everything has to come out because they're thinking like an employee. Yep. Right. And they're thinking like where they came up. Like, I don't fault anybody for it because I did the same thing. I made the same exact mistakes. But your business, I am not my business is not me, which means that the business needs to be able to stand on its own 2 legs. Right. Yep. And that's when somebody's going to buy it. And it also builds up credit so that you don't have to do like a PG. You want to do everything that you possibly can to get away from giving PGs, personal guarantees, on the finance, because your business is the one that should be borrowing the money. But you have to set it up properly. You have to I would immediately drop what I'm doing and go register or claim, or at least take a look at what my DNB, make sure that my DNB is in place, and start looking at all the financing that you need, and start looking at your business like you should, which is a machine that creates cash. And it does it in more ways than just the product and service exchange, right?
Yep, absolutely. And guys, if you start looking up business credit, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to get a lot of phone calls. Okay. Don't go to NAV. NAV's going to take your information, NAV.com. They're going to resell it. You're going to get brokers calling you up all day. You start looking, you're going to start seeing ads. You're going to see, and guys, this is how well I know this space, because it's almost like sick. Okay. But if you start doing this, you're going to get calls that you can get like no statement, $50,000 just on your business credit from a bank. But you have to build your business credit and you got to pay 5 to 10 grand. That's a scam, guys. Buying trade lines is a scam. You don't know what company that trade line came off of.
Right.
Okay. You could be a manufacturer and you're buying trade lines for logistic companies. I'm not saying everybody does that, but the majority of them do. So you need to be careful. If it seems too good to be true, it is. In my experience, nothing worthwhile building is easy, and nothing easy is worthwhile.
Amen. That's good. That's a mic drop moment right there. Cool, man. Well, look, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your friendship. You know, we do a lot of stuff together. I'm just grateful to have you in my life. You know, aside from everything that just the business stuff, I'm just grateful to have you and call you a friend and a brother.
Likewise, brother.
Is there anything that you want to give as a parting shot to the people that are watching today?
Hey, I wish you guys the best. If you guys need anything, just on social, it's my name, any platform, and then it's just integrated business financing. And if you reach out to us, we will be very, very happy to work with you, teach you, coach you, get you what you need. And one day we'll come on here and talk about the dangers of AI to business, Jason.
Yeah.
Because that is something that is near and dear. So you want to talk about a warning shot? That's AI, a big one.
Okay. Well, let's do it. We'll just reschedule that meeting, right? Or then that podcast, next, because I've got some stuff on that too. But cool, brother. Appreciate you. And again, we're so tight. Like I actually tell everybody that we have B2X Finance, and all I'm really talking about is that it's Jonathan. So,
but I am part of B2X, guys. Like I will tell you this: there's very few people that I will do things sight unseen, no verification, no nothing. Jason asked me to do something. I do it because I know who he is. I believe in his mission. I believe in him, and I love the guy. So he asked me, "Do you want to be part of this?" I didn't even know what the fuck. Excuse my language. I didn't know what it was. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. That was it.
Yep. That was over a year ago, almost. Well, yeah,
It
going back
was.
to February. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
awesome, man. And, you know, and again, it's mission driven because you're sell side advocate. I'm sell side advocate. There's very few of them out there. Right.
Yeah.
But we're sell side advocates because first and foremost, Jonathan and I are both business owners, and we've had our asses handed to us over and over and over again throughout the years. And those are scars worth paying for. So,
Yeah.
you know, I appreciate you, brother. I'll let
Likewise.
you get back to changing lives and doing what you do. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. And I'll be seeing you in the next couple of days.
Sounds good, brother. Take
All
care.
right, brother. Peace. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate you being here again. And more than anything, I appreciate the amount of shares that you guys you're sharing the show. You're leaving DMs, you're getting to know each other. You're spending time with each other. The whole concept of Built to Exit is that we band together as small and mid-sized business owners to make sure that this opportunity remains in place for us in our generation, yes, but the next generation and the next generation, because freedom starts and ends at the bank. It ends you know, in our cash flow a lot of times, and not enough people are talking about that. So welcome to all of you new viewers, and welcome back to all my brothers and sisters who have been with me for a while. Follow us, you know, on YouTube, the Built to Exit podcast. Obviously, you can see us on all the other channels as well. And we do a live show every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that goes for half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, depending. But we talk about things that are going to be able to impact your business right now, today. So make sure you do that. And you can visit us at builttoexit.biz or jasonsisneros.com to find us and see what we're up to. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the road. My next speaking engagement is going to be on the 6th and 7th down in Fort Lauderdale of December. And after that, the next weekend, I believe the 12th and 13th, they're going to be in Atlanta at an event called The Forge. If you want to join any of those, come see me in person.